Graphic design itself, its processes, and what it means to be a graphic designer has changed tremendously in the last decades. What we perceive and understand of this practice as design students in 2020 is completely different to what previous generations were taught about what graphic design was and its techniques. This change lies mainly in the steps involving the design process, from the way in which graphic designers are educated to how projects are carried out. When analog techniques dominated the design industry, professionals had to spend considerable amount of time looking for precision in their lines and curves. Prototyping and experimenting with different fonts and sizes couldn't be done just by a click of a button. Everything involved scanning, cutting, pasting, enlarging needed to be done manually. This meant that back then, when imposed with a deadline, designers couldn't experiment with different options or alternative ideas for a specific project, and any small mistake could make you lose 2 days worth of work. Prototyping was more limited, they couldn't just afford it the same way as we can today. Design was a collaborative process where designers needed to be in contact with many specialists in order to make a project come to life. Big projects involved multiple people and took a very long time. If big brands were involved, it also meant big budgets. Design departments could be worth $2 million and involved 15 people.
I think what we've been able to do is just release the creativity in people and allow them to think anything they want and be able to create it.
Adobe Systems Incorporated, now known as Adobe Inc., was founded in 1982 by these lovely gentlemen, John Warnock and Charles Gersk. Right after they created a very significant programming language, and their executives at Xerox Corporation refused to put this new language out on the market, claiming that this technology would be irrelevant for another decade. The aforementioned computer language that they developed was able to produce a representation of an image of the coded text, which would be able to produce images on any computer or printer that supported it. It is called PostScript. So why would companies just start to use Adobe's new language to create their graphics and illustrations? Obviously, it is a pretty efficient tool, but at the same time, many printing companies would not have faith in a program such as this to completely revamp their printing methods. Later on, Apple released a PostScript-compatible printer, the LaserWriter. This printer and the public availability of programs such as Illustrator and Photoshop allowed anyone who owned a computer to create professional-looking banners, flyers, etc. from the comfort of their home, without needing any prior training or expensive equipment. This would be later known as the desktop publishing revolution. As of 2017, Adobe was thought to have approximately 12 million Creative Cloud subscribers, and over 19% of the world's creative professionals use Adobe programs, making it one of the most important tools in the design industry. So, how has this powerful tool reshaped the design world? One of the biggest changes has to do with the speed at which concepts can be transformed into finalized graphic products. Nowadays, a designer can explore the limitless possibilities of color, font, and composition in a fraction of the time. This allows for great richness as we have more freedom and flexibility. We can reflect on and redirect our projects with more ease. However, it is also common for designers to become overwhelmed with this infinite number of combinations and find themselves constantly tweaking small details. When the possibilities are endless, it's harder to make decisions. Digital design programs have taken a heavy weight off our shoulders. In the past, designers had to worry about having the patience and skills to be able to effectively communicate their ideas before they could think about how to expand or experiment around it. Now we have that freedom. We are not limited by the quality of our rulers, our tracer pens, our X-Acto knives, or the extensive experience needed to utilize these tools correctly. We can prioritize creativity and worry less about limiting factors that are stopping us because we have easy to use, acceptable tools that do these technically precise things for us. This does mean that there are more people that call themselves designers just because of the fact that they can learn how to use these programs, but in the hands of someone with a good aesthetic eye and are proficient with its tools, these become the source of outstanding works. The vast nature of the digital design process has also had a change in the responsibilities of graphic designers within corporations. Departments worth millions and composed of many are now replaced by one designer, his laptop, and an Adobe subscription. Individuals are in charge of concept building, prototyping, and then achieving visual objectives, when before this would have been delegated within a team. Designers have become more independent and even isolated. Their practice can be entirely done from the comfort of their homes. On the one hand, this allows for more homogeneous projects where concepts can be clearly portrayed as it is not lost between anyone's opinion and a debate. Designers can create things that are more catered to their individual style rather than the one of their collective. However, this lack of collaboration can have some negative impacts on the quality of the working conditions of the designer and even on the product itself. Feedback and collaboration are key in rich and diverse projects where multiple people contribute with their unique approach. Having people to bounce ideas off help designers work through problems, and because many responsibilities lie in the hands of one person, it is not uncommon to hear about designers being exploited and experiencing burnout. So, the conclusion can be drawn that Adobe programs have had a great effect on the way we design, changing the focus from analog to digital processes. Now, analog techniques are just for preliminary sketches and are seen as nostalgic, whereas digital formats are dominant. It has also shifted the creative process from a more group oriented idea exchange to a more isolated individual based process. So, what does the future hold for Adobe? The company offers a multitude of comprehensive applications for endless creation without worrying about the limits of the imagination. Obviously, the complexity of some software requires lifelong learning, but Adobe imagines a future placed in the design of simplicity and mobility. This would make design even more accessible, as learning how to use the program would be even more simple. Adobe created a short video to show us its vision for the future of its tablet-based graphic applications. Everything is designed to do things simply, intuitively, to promote creation and not to worry about technical constraints. Adobe has also imagined a future where devices communicate with each other and collaborate. The company can perfectly imagine a user projecting paint from their smartphone, which would replace a brush, to their tablets, which would replace a canvas. It would also be possible to rotate 3D renderings with a simple wave of the hand in front of the camera like a Kinect, but with much more performance. The power that lies within the Adobe tool is undeniable, and even more so when paired with its strong concepts. But we can also ask ourselves, what changes will these advancements bring to the experience of the graphic designer? Will make any creation or process involving analog techniques completely obsolete? Will we no longer have to have any manual experience as designers? Or will another software developing criteria different from Adobe's arise and further connect the world of ideas with the world of production? There is clearly an ongoing changing relationship between these two worlds. Maybe the answer lies in the possibility that to realize that the desire of creation can only truly be human, we must enter a phase where design is more a machine-related process than a human-related process. So then, travel the full circle and understand that the essence of machines lies more in that of a tool than of a creator.